too sensitive? Probably. The tweet that started it all. This is not all negative. This is also to help you kind of get past some of these things. So, hey travel lovers, welcome to A Wanderlust for Life. I'm Jessica, and this is the channel that shows you European gems through food and memorable experiences. Now, I live in Amsterdam and I have lived here since 2014, and this video is all about my biggest pet peeves about what people say about Amsterdam. Let's get into it. I just don't understand why people say some of the things that they do, and this was triggered by a tweet, but I have come to Amsterdam's defense many times, sometimes very publicly, and you know, I will never stop doing it because some of y'all just have no common sense as to how the world works, and that is what I'm here to talk about today. Now, this isn't about you specifically, but probably things that you have heard, and I'm gonna nip that in the bud right now, right? So basically, the first one is Amsterdam is too touristy. Yes, we get a lot of tourists. We've had 20 million tourists in a year, and that's a lot for a city of less than a million. Yes, we have less than a million people who live in Amsterdam. So that is a big shock to the system. Now, there's lots of different things going on to try to curb this number and attract people who really want to enjoy the city for, you know, its cultural side, its architectural side, and things like that. And so I think a lot of this is going to be changing in the next couple years, and I hope to be part of that. But my life's goal is to make sure you guys understand what it means to come to Amsterdam, what you can really get out of it. So yeah, it's touristy, and it's one of the over-touristed cities in the world, along with Venice and Barcelona. So yes, there are a lot of tourists. However, a couple things here. Number one, if you come to Amsterdam and visit, you're a tourist. You're part of that. And you can understand why people want to visit this amazing city. I mean, it's my favorite city in the world, but you know, I'm biased. I get it, guys. But yeah, you're part of that. And it's kind of like, you know, when people are like, oh, this line is so long. You're in that line. This is not all negative. This is also to help you kind of get past some of these things. So yes, lots of tourists around. Do your touristy things, but understand there's a lot of Amsterdam that there aren't a lot of tourists in. I know, shocker, right? But seriously, guys, I have videos of different neighborhoods around the city, and I'm hoping to do more of that this year. So let me know down below if you want to see more of Amsterdam and different parts of Amsterdam that you may not be familiar with. Let me know down in the comments for me. And yeah, there are just so many different parts that will give you a deeper understanding of the city, give you unique perspectives, unique shopping opportunities. So yeah, there's a lot to do to avoid the tourists. I will tell you, on beautiful sunny days, it's not just gonna be the tourists that you're gonna be fighting with, it's the locals. So on sunny days, everybody comes out of their shell. It's actually sunny today, which is bonkers because the weather has been really, really bad recently. But they will come out and take over the parks, and you see strollers everywhere and bikes everywhere, but that is all part of the experience. And as far as shopping goes, there are so many different shopping areas, and there's just so many beautiful things to see, and you don't have to be in the center of the city along the main canals to see these things. So just, if you're on a busy street, take a right, take a left, and then take another one. And you're probably not gonna have a whole lot of people around. I swear, guys, I can go into the city center and get to areas that there's nobody. And that's like in the main part of the city. Also, another tip is to get up a little early. I know, I don't do it either, but if you want those quiet times, get up early. Also, in the evening, it's quite quiet in most of the city. The busiest parts are gonna be around the super touristy areas that have a lot of the nightlife, and that's gonna be around Rembrandtplein or Rembrandt Square and Leidseplein, Leidse Square. So if you can avoid those areas and take a stroll along the canals at night, and I swear, guys, you are just gonna fall in love with Amsterdam in a totally different way. Another way is to get on your bike. Yeah, I'm actually telling you as a visitor to get on your bike, learn the rules first. And then head to Youre. can't believe I'm telling you guys to come here, but come to Youre. It is so different than the city center. There's a lot of interesting things to see at NDSM. You can go to the Eye Museum, you can go to the Atom Tower, you can walk along the water. There's some really cool restaurants up here. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to see Amsterdam without being in the middle of it all. One of my biggest pet peeves, and I know you've heard this, is that Amsterdam is for people who like maybe things that are illegal where they live, okay? Yes, some things, and apparently there's a monetization issue here, some things that you can smoke in coffee shops in Amsterdam, you can't get everywhere in the world, and I get it, I really do. But you know, that kind of tourism is starting to fade out a little bit. And we're just kind of hoping that people can kind of see the city for more than just that. And yes, there's prostitution as well, which is all over the world, as you know. But yeah, it's a lot more than that. And actually, like the red light district, where you'll find a lot of these things, is the oldest part of the city. So if you can walk around that area and really take it all in, all the history and the beauty and everything, I think you'll have a different experience. Even if you do come for those things, I think you can still elevate it a little bit by paying attention to what's around you. I know you guys have heard that the Dutch are rude. Now here's the thing. I can see how many people, especially maybe Americans, Canadians, can see that. You know, there's a culture in those countries to be super nice, to find the best possible way to say something, to walk on eggshells around people, you know, that kind of thing. The Dutch are direct. And yes, there are people who are rude. That's literally everywhere. But honestly, if you can take what people say just as what they say and not read into it, you will be so much happier when you're in the Netherlands. Another big issue I have is when people judge the entirety of Amsterdam by the city center. Okay, guys, that's the oldest part of the city. So there's not a lot of the same facilities that we have in other parts of the city. Like my neighborhood has underground trash. So you go and you put stuff in the trash bin and it goes underground, and then a big truck comes and they pull it out and they take it and they switch it out. The city center doesn't have that. At least not mostly. They have the sidewalk. So if you're coming to Amsterdam and you're all like, oh, it's so trashy. Okay, that is not all the time. And after festivals and stuff, you will see a lot of trash. You'll probably see a lot of trash around trash day. Also, the seagulls get into that stuff. Like that kind of thing happens, and it happens everywhere. Generally speaking, I find Amsterdam to be one of the cleanest cities. So I just feel like you're just seeing it at the wrong time, or you're in a weird area. I don't know. Like I've never really had an issue with trashiness. Yes, you will find trash in the canals and stuff like that. But again, that's absolutely, you know, all over the place, except maybe Copenhagen. I don't know. They seem to have their trash situation under control. But you can help out, you know, make sure your trash is disposed of properly. Go on, there's a boat called the Plastic Whale, where you can go and fish out the plastics in the canal. And actually the Dutch are doing a lot around here to capture a lot of that trash in the canals and in the river and things like that. So, you know, if you're just like, Amsterdam's a trashy city, it's really not. It's just there's not a lot of space to do much with the trash in the city center. And lastly, the tweet that started it all, that made me want to make this video. There is a difference in saying you only have 3 days to experience a city, and somebody telling you you only need 3 days to experience a city. I have lived here for over 8 years. I have not seen everything. Granted, I don't treat every day like a vacation day. I can't. I'm sure you can understand. But, you know, to say you only need 3 days in Amsterdam, I can't imagine. Guys, like, the Rijksmuseum could take 3 days. We have, I think, over 50 museums. We have so many different kinds of tours, so many different kinds of neighborhoods, so many foods to try. Like, I can't imagine only being here for 3 days. So I want to know from you, Do you think you only need 3 days to experience Amsterdam? And have you done that? Do you feel like you got a good taste of Amsterdam? Which I do think you can get a taste of it in 3 days. I absolutely do. But I would suggest to have at least a week. And that way you can explore the different neighborhoods, go to the different markets, because some of the markets are only on the weekends. There's different things going on, and it really depends on what you want out of your visit. Do you just want to tick off the boxes? That's fine. If you only have 3 days and you want to tick off the boxes, go for it. Go to the Anne Frank House, go to the Rijksmuseum, that's fine. No judgment here. All I'm saying is in 3 days, you're certainly not gonna see everything. And that's how I feel like, or I've interpreted how people say it. But yeah, if you only have 3 days, I think I even have a blog post for that. So I'll leave that link down below for you. But if you can spend a week here, I would highly encourage it. And a top tip for you when traveling is if you are following an itinerary, like my 3-day itinerary, I'm being very specific in my enunciations. I would also suggest at least buffering in an extra day or two to do the things that you discovered while you were doing the other things. So if you're like on a time schedule and you're like, or just a schedule maybe, and you're like, I'm doing this at 10 o'clock, I'm doing this at 2 o'clock, I'm going here for dinner, and you don't have really time to do the in-between things that you see, buffer in that extra time, because that will let you kind of expand what you're doing, but still sticking with an itinerary so that you do hit everything that you are looking for. Am I being too sensitive? Probably. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But the thing is when you love Amsterdam as much as I do, I just want people to see it how I see it. And I hope you can. And if you are new to this channel, definitely subscribe. I have so many videos on Amsterdam. There will be so many more this year. And I will put a playlist right next to me somewhere. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to join our Patreon, join our community with live streams and extra videos and things like that, definitely join and I will see you in there. But thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.